Hello everyone, Star Tactics here, back with another Squadron TD video. This time we'll be playing the Nature Builder. This is one of my favorite builders. They have a nice, well-rounded composition of towers. They have some good early game damage and strong late game tanking. So yeah, waves 1 and 2, you're going to want to start with a half-breed. This guy should hold wave 1 against anything. On wave 2, he will leak against something like a Titan Strider or other Sens. But that's simply a risk you take with this build. Yeah, and today, just FYI, we're casting a replay instead of a live play. Please let me know in the comments if that's something you care about. I've just found that the replays to be easier to cast. So yeah, we pushed 2 Econ while the half-breed kept us safe on wave 1. And you can see there's no sends on wave 2, so we should be okay with our half-breed here. It'll take him a while to clean this wave up, but otherwise we should be okay. So, quick check on our teammates. We have an Ancient Builder. This guy was pretty high elo. And we have a Ghost Builder. And we have a Random Custom Builder. You can see these little, I discovered these little doodads yesterday, so I was playing with them. Alright, so at this point, guys, after wave 2, you're going to want to add a Thunderbird. Look at that lightning coming out of his rifle. So this Thunderbird, he's going to be really strong in the early game. He's going to keep you real safe pre-10. Yeah, he does 50 AoE damage to 5 nearby enemies. So in a minute, you're going to see him just take out these cows, man. Like, look at this. Yeah, you can see he's just... Sorry, I personally just love watching this this wave. You can see he's just taking out these cows 5 at a time. Yeah, not even close to a leak. So, because we're so safe due to the Thunderbird, go ahead and push Econ. Remember, get 1 speed for every 3 gas. I believe that's the accepted baseline. So, next up is Marines. We're going to add 1 Ranger. I've seen the Half-Breed and Thunderbird hold this on their own, but it's very close. So you are going to want to add 1 Ranger just to be more safe against any sends or anything like that. So yeah, you can see there's no sends. But yeah, even against the Marines, you can see this Thunderbird. He just takes out swaths of them at a time. Just really strong AoE in the early game. Yeah, you can see he's just taking them out. Boom. Easy hold. Yeah, but you can see without that Ranger, it might have gotten dicey. Alright, so next up we have Hoverlords. And looks like we have a slight leak from one of our teammates here. But that should be no problem. And you can see we cleaned that up easily. And here we go. Alright, so against Hoverlords, go ahead and add 2 more Rangers. Upgrade one of them to Melee. So I called this thing Melial for the longest time, but I promise it's called Melee. Alright, so these things, this is the main damage tower of the Nature Builder. They're extremely strong in the early and mid game, but I think they do fall off against some of the late game towers, or late game creeps, but don't worry about that for now. So you can see this Thunderbird is still extremely strong, and with this you should be safe against Hoverlords. Yeah, this wave is pretty important. Make sure you do add on 2 Rangers and up one of them to Melee. You can see that got pretty close. Okay, so against Roaches, just upgrade the 2 Rangers, 2 remaining Rangers to Melee. So you should have 3 Melee. And yeah, with the Nature Builder, this Melee, their damage tower is just so strong early on. You're gonna see it right here. Make short work of these roaches. So yeah, they should be, yeah, they're pretty much two-shotting these roaches here. You see their firing animation. It looks painful for the enemy. Alright, so we're up to 6 gas here. Next up is Zealots. So if you have enough, you can add a Yggdrasil. You can see we were short. So we're actually going to grab 1 speed and 1 melee. So 4 melee, a half-breed, and a Thunderbird going into Zealots. And we have 6 gas and 2 speed right now. So you can see our gas income's 243. Very good. For wave 7, yeah, pretty good. So Zealots coming in. Zealots have never been a threat for me on this builder. You can see the melee, I just kind of melt them. Alright, so after wave 7, you're definitely going to want to start adding melee. You can see we're just short though, so you really do want to add a melee at this point against Reapers. For one reason or another, I was short on money, so I decided to add one more melee. Oh, and I meant Yggdrasil, by the way. Sorry. You're going to want to add 1 Yggdrasil. Tower 6. Frontline tower. But I was like just short of money, so I decided to just add 1 more melee. So, guys, this is a bit of a risk here. You really do want a Yggdrasil up here. And you can see this hold is going to get very close due to the slight risk I took here. So actually not as close as I thought. But yeah, pretty close, I'd say. So yeah, we have enough for a Yggdrasil now. So go ahead and add one of those up there. And this is going to be the main tower of the nature builder. These upgrade into Tree of Life and Tree of Knowledge. Tree of Life basically gives healing. Tree of Knowledge reflects enemy damage. And it's also basically like when it dies, it blows up and does a lot of damage. So, heading into exotics. Yeah, you can see these melee, man. Yeah, the early game creeps really don't have anything on these melee, that's for sure. Alright guys, so go ahead and add 1 more Yggdrasil. There are variations of this. You can either do 3 Yggdrasil, 5 melee. This game, we're doing 2 Yggdrasil and 6 melee. If anything, this shows the variability of the build. Sometimes you're not going to have enough for that Yggdrasil, so what do? You can't leak, right? So you're going to have to figure that out. But, you know, general guideline, just have a front line that makes the enemy pause. And a pause is all you need in the early game for these melee. You can see the damage is just outstanding. So take all that money we just made from the boss and put it into your econ. Because wave 11 is not scary. You should be fine against it. So go ahead and put that all into your econ. You can see our gas is 364. It's about to go up higher though. Yeah, just as a guideline, guys, on or, you know, around wave 20 is when you want your gas or your econ to be maxed. That's a loose guideline. So you can see our gas is 495. Yeah, and you can see our... Yeah, I just love watching these melee fire, man. They're basically the StarCraft 2 unit Viking ground mode. But they have a pretty cool firing animation. I think he added an additional, like a gun or something near the head. I don't know. Okay, so you can see, yeah, add one more Yggdrasil against Hydralisks. Um, Hydralisks are very inconsistent with this builder. Like sometimes they will randomly leak. Um, Actually, this wave is going to be the only leak in the entire game for this build. Uh, yeah, most games actually, this build smashes this wave. So I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know why this leak happens, to be honest. It might be a positioning diff or something, but yeah, we are going to leak 5 Hydralisks here. Or, I lied. We're going to leak 7 Hydralisks here. And it should show up here shortly. Yeah, there you go. So you get 7 Hydralisk leaks. But yeah, that will be the only leak throughout the game. And, you know, not excusing it, but a leak of that size and just at once is excusable for a build, I would say. So, heading into Broodlords, you are going to want to make sure you have a solid front line. So let's go ahead and add one more Yggdrasil. And yeah, we can't add one more melee, so just push Econ. You can see our Econ's pretty decent, second highest on the team. And yeah, you can see those melee clean up those Broodlords no problem. So next up is Immortals. This wave can be scary. You do need to be careful, especially with positioning on this wave. So, yeah, go ahead, add 2 more Yggdrasil. And we got rid of the Thunderbird. That's actually very important here. Because if this guy's sticking out, the Immortals could come around here, aggro onto him, and then get onto the rest of our melee. So that's why we sold the Thunderbird. Ideally, you're going to want a full frontline here. But, yeah, this will do. You can see they start to wrap around. If the Thunderbird was here, these would have aggroed onto the backline here. And you can see it's really close. If one of these Immortals got on our backline, it would have been disastrous. We would not have held. So Immortals is a wave where positioning is actually very important. And you do have to be mindful about that. So it looks like our allies leaked here. But no worries, we cover for them. And alright, heading into Lurkers. Looks like we grab a depot. And we get our first tree of life. So, this is one of the upgraded versions of the Yggdrasil. This guy will give healing. Yeah, and you can see some of these things are getting to our backline. This is really not good. But with Lurkers, it's barely excusable, because Lurkers do die quickly. Now, if that was an Immortal, like I said earlier, it would have been a different story. So yeah, with this builder, guys, just be mindful of your positioning. It can really ruin your day if you make a mistake there. So yeah, after Immortals, definitely grab some Eco, because Hellions is not the scariest wave. Yeah, after Immortals, after 14 and after 17, you are going to really want to push to try and max out soon. So yeah, at this point our Econ is really starting to kick in. So we grab one more Tree of Life and we add one more Yggdrasil. So we have a pretty solid healing front line. Marauders is 17, so you are going to want at least 3 Tree of Lives against Marauders. If you only have 1 or 2 Tree of Lives, the Marauders will break through, because they're a very tough wave. And you can see as the Yggdrasils fall, the Tree of Lives remain. The Tree of Lives are basically, the Yggdrasils heal as well, but the Tree of Lives just heal more. They heal more allies, basically. Like you can see, this thing heals 4 allies for 35 plus 2%. This guy heals 6 allies. So it just heals more. It has more HP. So it's a slightly tankier, improved version of Yggdrasil. So yeah, we get our 3rd Tree of Life. And another Yggdrasil. And that's what we head into Marauders with. So, Marauders, you can treat them very similarly to Immortals. Just make sure you really close this front line up. If even one Marauder gets to these melee, you will not hold. So I do want to emphasize that a little bit. So you can see this front line is keeping these Marauders in place. And as long as they're in place, our melee can do their damage. You can see some of these are getting very close. And actually one does get on our back line. And you can see, even just one, he took out one of our melee. If that was 2 or 3, we would not have held this. So with this builder, guys, yeah, I want to emphasize this. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but 14 Immortals and 17 Marauders. You have to be very careful. One mispositioning can really mess up your build. So just be aware of that. So it looks like our allies leaked a little bit, but no problem. We're going to cover that just fine. Looks like the enemies had some leaks too. Looks like the enemy has an Ancient and a Celestial, among other things. So, heading into Corruptors, you can see we're really pushing Econ now. Like I said, around 20, you really do want to be maxed. Alright, so we just got our first Hercules. So this is also a pretty important part of the Nature Builder. These things give 1 hex around them, damage reduction, and a chance to stun. Okay, so it looks like the enemies, for one reason or another, sent really hard on this wave. This is unusual, but yeah, let's see how our build does against unusual sends. So you can see our positioning is really helping us out here. It's keeping these Corruptors all here, and our melee are able to do damage. But our front line goes down, and the creeps are moving in on our melee now. But it looks like our build just barely holds. Look at that. That is an impressive hold. So, looks like we have some leaks from our allies. In the meantime, we're getting supply and we're constantly pushing eco. You can see we're nearing max here. Yeah, you can see we're almost maxed. One very easy way to see if a build's competitive or not is to see if it maxes around 20. The best builds will max before 20. But, you know, these Squad TD videos are all about mapping the game out roughly for you. They're not about giving you the best builds. They're about giving you a competitive build. And I think this is definitely a competitive build. Okay, so I think I might have lied. Well, actually, we'll see. So this actually gets really close. Oh, okay, I thought that was going to be a leak, but our build actually holds there. So yeah, there will be no more leaks with this build. I got mixed up. So yeah, heading into the Wave 20 boss, you're going to want 7 or 8 of these Tree of Lives. And you're also going to want a few Hercules. This one should have been positioned here. I don't know why I put it here, but I did. Yeah. And you can see our build does pretty well against these bosses. Yeah, easy hold. And after the boss, yeah, go ahead and finish up your econ. So it's very important to get maxed here. If you don't max, you're not going to have enough to hold in the late game. That's just how it works. So, yep, we finish up our econ. Looks like yellow beat us there. But you can see our income is the highest though. Alright, so now, at this point, now build a full line of Tree of Life. So we have our healing down. You're going to want to start to eye the Tree of Knowledge. This one. It's slightly more expensive than Tree of Life, but it is much more tanky. It's going to reflect enemy damage. And like I said, if and when it does die, it blows up. And yeah, with leftover money, just keep adding rangers. It's going to be nice to have 2 rows of melee, just to make sure we have relevant damage. And yeah, easy hold. Alright, next up is Aberrations. So, we should be getting... Yeah, there you go. So there's the Tree of Knowledges. This is arguably the strongest unit for this builder. They are very hard to kill. And when they do die, they blow up. Like I've said 3 times now. Okay, so you see leftover money. We're gonna build up the second line of damage melee. So yeah, you can see these Tree of Knowledge guys. Looks like this one's gonna die. When it dies, you should see a blue sparks fly around the enemies. Yeah, you can see that little blue shock there. So aberrations are scary, and you can see even just 2 got on our back line. And yeah, they took out like half our back line already. They're actually taking out our full back line. So positioning is very important. At this point, our front line has gotten strong enough where it can clean up the rest of the wave on its own. And that's a very strong hold, I would say. So, yeah, we had some leaks, but we covered that. And yeah, guys, after you get a line of Tree of Life, you're going to want to get a line of Tree of Knowledge. Because some of the late game waves, they have like anti-heal, or they do a lot of damage. So the damage reflection from the Tree of Knowledge is going to be really useful. And yeah, basically you do not want to have only Tree of Life. Some people recommend it to me to only build Tree of Life, but I will say that's not good in the late game. You're like this wave, I've experimented with this. If you build only Tree of Life, you will not hold against this wave. Because these areas have anti-heal. You can see they apply necrosis, which prevents healing. So you can see, like, it was kind of close. Not really, but yeah. Point is, after 20, you're going to want to start building these up. You will need these Tree of Knowledges. So another note, this Hercules spacing. Like I told you, these Hercules will give damage reduction buff to 1 hex neighbor towers. So 3x3. So you're not going to want to put 1 Hercules here and 1 here. You're actually going to want 2 spaces apart. So this guy covers this, and this guy covers this. And yeah, you can see these Tree of Knowledge. When they die, you see those blue sparks. And yeah, easy hold on High Templars. Yeah, so the ideal spacing for, yeah, just make sure you have 2 hexes between each of your Hercules. You don't need many Hercules. You need 6 maximum. These, the ones on the edges, hopefully you can see, they might not even be necessary. You could get away with 4, probably. Um, and looks like this round we just upgraded a lot of these Rangers to melee AI. So yeah, heading into hybrid, this should be no problem. Should really be an easy hold. And yeah, very, very easy hold. So yeah, these first 3 rows, it's good to have Tree of Knowledge. So that's what we'll be doing. So yeah, with this build, we're just gonna have 6 Hercules spaced like this. We're probably gonna get one more here. Just always remember 2 hexes between the Hercules for optimum, buff placement. Alright, heading into Kerrigan's, this wave can be scary. If even a single Kerrigan gets on this back line, it can get dicey. But I have seen with this wave, first off, it's gonna take a while to kill it, because the Kerrigans they clamp incoming damage to 50. You can see. But yeah, at this point, even if the back line dies, your front line should be able to beat the Kerrigans. At least that's my experience. But yeah, you can see it's gonna take a while to clear these. Looks like one of our allies leaked. So I was definitely worried that we would die before I cleared this wave. Looks like we have some leaks from the enemies, but they have an ancient builder. So you can see me pinging the SS. We need to stall for time. So, and my ally gets here just in time. Look at that. And looks like we just cleared our wave, and we get here too. And combined, we clean up our allies' leaks. No problem. Alright, so at this point, yeah, just finish up your Tree of Knowledge, your line of Tree of Knowledge here. And yeah, just remember what I said about the Hercules spacing. For 6 rows, 6 Hercules maximum is what you're going to need. You can get away with 4, to be honest. But yeah, 6 is what we do. Yeah, so the Nature Builder, they have a very impressive front line. I mean, they have strong healing. Um, they have damage reflection, which is just really strong. And yeah, we should see these upgraded to Tree of Knowledge. There we go. Yeah, and this should also be an easy hold. You can see we have like 23k value on the board, and we're not even maxed. So Nature is definitely a high value builder. It can get a lot of value down on the board. Alright guys, so we got Nyx coming up. And as you know, the previous 2 uploads have ended on Nyx. With Celestial we won on Nyx, and with Mechanical we died on Nyx. So Let's now see how this nature builder does on Nyx. Hint, the damage reflection on these Tree of Knowledge is just gonna be insane. So Nyx is like a very high damage creep. So you can see against that, you are really gonna need damage reflection. Yeah, let's see how we do. You can see they're tearing through our Tree of Knowledge, but they're also taking a lot of damage, and we're getting on top of them. And it's just too much meat, right? Even the high damage Nyxes, they could not kill our front line. All of it. They killed a lot of it actually, but they couldn't kill all of our front line. So you can see the enemies leaked a lot of Nyxes, but they also have a very strong ancient builder. So they should be able to hold. You see our ally leaked a bit, but we'll be able to hold no problem. We also have a strong ancient builder teammate. And yeah, this game actually will not end on Nyx. So we're headed into the boss wave. So, yeah, we get a second layer of healing. And we should be getting one more Hercules here. It's debatable really if you need the Hercules buff on your healing, because you will have it on these guys. That's for you to kind of decide. But yeah, we're now maxed. This is the nature builder. You can see really impressive frontline for this builder. Yeah, we should be able to beat these bosses no problem, I think. Yeah, the bosses are actually killing a lot of our frontline, but we hold it pretty solid. Looks like we have some leaks from the enemy. Ooh, looks like this guy barely held. And he's not going to be able to hold his allies' leaks, I think. You can see this guy was Celestial. They're spawning their, whatever these things are called. But it's not enough, yeah. So looks like that will be the game, guys. They have a fully upgraded security system, but it does not matter. Security systems just can't kill the level 30 bosses. You can see everybody's GGing out. And yeah, that's the game. A level 30 win. So, Nature Builder. Very strong front line. Had a lot of fun. If you guys are curious, we had a Ghost Builder teammate and an Ancient Builder teammate. You can see very strong. Enemies had a Celestial. You can see this guy kind of did the build we did in our video. A Fallen for each of these Kingsguard. But he's a little behind. We had an Automaton guy. Not the best Automaton build, I would say. And we had an Ancient guy. So, yep, thanks for watching. That was the Nature Builder.